Observations, an electronic column, African American Streets of Duval County by Audrey Randolph, author of Necessary Oneness, available via Amazon.com. February 15th, 2014, Jacksonville, Florida, Volume 3, Number 2. As we look back to the past, we can see influences on today's world. Jacksonville, Duval County, Florida has a rich African American heritage. It was the place to be for African Americans in the late 19th and early 20th century, especially because the one-third population of African Americans was luring, the train station was a magnet, and the nightlife at the two spot where famous entertainers would perform was attractive. Even so, it did maintain its side effects of slavery, with poor African Americans stuck in jobs as factory workers, maid and other service jobs, and jobs in trade skills. A name is an etching in time that designates a location, person, object, or idea. Let's consider some of the African American streets of Duval County, mainly in North and East Jacksonville. Martin Luther King Jr. Parkway replaced the former 20th Street Expressway name. It runs northwest to northeast from West 25th Street to under the Matthews Expressway. By now, most people are aware of the accomplishments of Dr. King. Not only did he earn a doctorate of divinity, he received the Nobel Prize for Peace. On the east side is A. Philip Randolph Boulevard, which runs north and south and is the major street in the predominantly African American area. From East First Street, it crosses Jesse Street, where Randolph, his brother, mother, and father had lived in the 600 block, and ends near the Matthews Expressway. For some distance, it runs parallel to the King Parkway and ends near the same area. The east side area, shown in an antiquity map on display on the second floor of the Jacksonville Landing, is labeled Negro Huts. Some people will recall the accomplishments of Randolph, who was a leader in the civil rights movement from the early 1920s to the early 1960s. In 1925, he established the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters, the first labor organization led by African Americans. His efforts also influenced two presidents to sign executive orders. President Roosevelt signed EO 8802 in 1941 to end discrimination in defense plants during World War II, and President Truman signed EO 9981 in 1948 to end racial discrimination in all branches of the military. Randolph led the 1963 March on Washington. Dr. King gave his famous I Have a Dream speech during the program. Randolph influenced President Kennedy and then effected change via President Johnson to achieve passage of the Civil Rights Bill in 1964. Today, the A. Philip Randolph Institute is in Washington, D.C., and the A. Philip Randolph Pullman Porter Museum is in Chicago. There was a Jacksonville commemorative location off Kings Road and Canal Street, but it faded away. Of particular interest are three street areas on the north side. One is nestled in a somewhat boxed area within the boundaries of West Edgewood Avenue, Moncrief Road, Avenue B, and 45th Street. The nestled area includes these historically African American colleges and universities, for example, Benedict, Meharry, Morehouse, Spelman, Talladega, Tuskegee, Wilberforce, and Xavier. However, there is no sign to designate a significant neighborhood. Another area is off Edgewood Avenue to the north and between US 1 and Cleveland Road. These name Leontine Price Court, opera singer McDaniel Drive, Hattie McDaniel, who in 1940 became the first African American to receive an Oscar, and who in 1925 became the first African American female to perform on radio. Pettiford Drive, Oscar Pettiford, jazz musician and composer, and Carroll Drive, Diana Carroll, actress and singer. Finally, a third area is west of Sutell Road and north of Moncrief Road and New Kings Road on US 1. There will be found African American street names, including Chaffee James Court for Chaffee James, Daniel Chaffee James, fighter pilot, who in 1975 became the first African American four-star general of the United States Air Force, and Liston Road for Charles L. Sonny Liston, professional boxer. In the downtown area, historic Bethel Baptist Church Institutional Church, established in 1838, is African American and the oldest Baptist church in Jacksonville. It has a uniquely named location of 215 Bethel Baptist Street. There the church sits, bordered by North Pearl, West First, and North Laurel Streets. Along with the aforementioned streets are also special state designations that have signs in particular areas. These recognitions are done for memorial or honorary purposes. The African American honorees in Duval County include these named streets for the given accomplishments. Barbara Van Blake Parkway. She was educator and director of Human Rights and Community Relations, American Federation of Teachers. James Weldon Johnson Memorial Highway. He was author, songwriter, educator, lawyer, diplomat, and civil rights activist. Johnny May Chappelle Parkway. She died after a white drive-by shooter randomly targeted her, a mother of 10 and age 35, as she searched for her wallet during the night of March 23, 1964. Robert Bullet Bob Hayes Avenue. He was considered the world's fastest human. African American streets of Duval County are a testimony about a people who achieved greatness. Travelers through the streets can think about those who are honored and thereby be reminded that nothing is impossible for those who believe. In addition, the names serve to maintain history and role models that all can emulate. You won't know until you find out is a slogan that I have coined because it is important to be aware, to learn, and to not ignore the past as it will present itself in the way that we shape our collective future. From our instant of conception in our mother's wombs, knowledge is sought every day as we interact in our environments. There is much we can know if we will allow ourselves to see and hear and read. Truly, the African American street names of Duval County speak to all of us who will listen. Observations is an electronic column written by Audrey Randolph with technical assistance of Terry Sellers.